I apologise. My sniffle is still quite bad. Um, I've tried to do this recording like 3 other times because I always end up like incoherently trying to describe what I'm, attempting to get across, I guess. So like recently in my life, I've had this uh general attitude uh directed towards me from all sorts of sources, even, I think my own mind, that tells me that I'm not doing the right thing with my time or in society in general. And it's, how do I put this? It's oddly conspiracy like. I feel like I'm in like a Philip K. Dick novel. Like, what's the one? Time Out of Joint or something. I feel like Regal Gum. Um, I do relate to Regal Gum in some ways, actually. Um, but yeah, like there's this like weird subliminal messaging coming through of like, you're not like doing the right thing with your life. You're, you know, in a spot that you shouldn't be in. And it's weird because I'm trying to like trace where that's coming from. I think it has something to do with both of my brothers. Well, I've got like three of them. Like two of my brothers are engaged, and you know, one of them recently got a mortgage, which I'm happy for them. But the mortgage brother, sorry, my voice is terrible. I'm really sorry. Tea fixes everything. Hopefully the tea will keep it at bay. Okay. So, yeah, this brother who got the mortgage gave me a sort of mini lecture about growing up, even though I'm older than him. And, like, the only thing that really separated us at the time was the fact that I wasn't employed at the time because I was struggling to find employment. And I don't know, I've had a job before, I've paid rent before, I've cooked food for myself before, I've learned how to use public transportation before. I can read relatively nuanced like literature and essays. So I'm not like infantile intellectually at all. If I do say so myself, that's being a bit arrogant of me. I do apologise. But yeah, like I can do all the things an adult can do apart from drive. I don't drive. It's whatever. It's not like I can financially afford a car anyway. But people seem to like think there's this sort of weird like juvenile-esque state that people who don't have like expansive careers or like a mortgage or a house or whatever, it's like people who have the society deemed big boy or big girl or big person things is relatively juvenile. and I don't really agree with that. Like, why should I? Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but like, why should I spend like the rest of my life paying off a house which I probably won't be able to pass on to anyone anyway? Or, you know, it's like, oh, the house is finally mine. I get to enjoy having the house be completely in my possession when I'm like 65, you know? Yeah. And it's this weird thing, like, the relationship thing as well. Like, the marriage thing. Like, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not married. I don't really plan to be married at all. And I was even talking to my dad, and he was like, oh, you don't want to be with anyone? Oh, are you sure? Like, you're going to be alone? You know, I don't blame him for that, you know? I don't blame him for thinking that, because that's just what he thinks. But then, you know, I was like, oh, it's just what he thinks. And then, like, you know, I said it to, like, one of my brothers, and they just kind of looked at me in a certain way, which I couldn't really decipher. Yeah, I don't get why I have to marry, and, you know, I have to, like, own property as, like, a prerequisite for like being an adult, you know? One second. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Yeah, like prerequisites to adulthood and all that. Yeah, I don't understand why I've got to do that sort of thing. Especially when, like, I've been transitioning, and that has sort of influenced my life in a lot of ways. It's made me not only like a minority. I can't talk. Yay! It's not only just made me like a minority. It's also like sort of made everything more complicated, like socially and like societally. So there's probably like a very limited amount of people I can date for that sort of thing. Not that I'd want to, but you know, expectations are different now. But obviously you still get the like expectation sometimes of the gender that you transition out of. You know, people just assume, and then they like pull the face of, oh, I can't believe I just said that, you know, and then they like backpedal because, you know, they're still getting used to you, and even though like you look different, it's hard to treat you differently because I've been treating you a certain way your whole life. So, you know, it's hard, it's complicated, but yeah. When people tell you to grow up because you don't have certain things in place, or like you're behind, it's very annoying, but more so it reveals how much of a sham everything is. Like, okay, there's this pressure, this top-down pressure from, you know, this like weird cultural mind virus that invades people's brains through, social shame, and it forces them to like marry people and live in houses filled with tension, and then they have children, because of course you have children, they have children who, inevitably absorb their neuroses because they didn't really have time to work out their own like shit before having children. I don't know, that's probably a bit of a rant, but yeah, like I've seen that happen a lot. I say that as an old person, right? But like, sorry, I should clarify. I say that like I'm an old person, but I'm only in my mid-20s, so like you see it a lot in other people your age. It's like they tell you about their family, and it's probably something like fucked up to do with the parents that gets pushed onto the kid because the parent doesn't know how to deal with it. And then you have this person who's like dysfunctional, and they have to raise another human being, I guess. But yeah, like expectations are just it's frustrating because you can't get away from them. And you can't get away from them because they exist in like every facet of society, including just like normal social things. Like if you're going to like, I don't know, a market stall or something, they're gonna wonder why there's a like grown adult by themselves. Because like, I don't know about you, but when you see like certain types of people in public, like you'll notice that there's like a lot of married couples and that, and you get the occasional like hipster young person, but like it's like it's like people can smell it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the same with like, it's like people can smell like the autism on you or something. It's like they know because it's obvious. They know that you're like some person that hasn't assimilated into the collective because of the way you behave, or the particular time at which you choose to go to wherever or do whatever, they know that you aren't part of the like normie club, I guess you'd call it. And yeah, that really has been getting to me recently. So I'm like, oh no, I'll like be forever, I don't know, like I'll be like rail gum moding, I'll just be like, oh god, I live in this like world that's been constructed and everybody in it believes, the bullshit. Everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid, like, actually, to talk about like time out a joint for a second, like when it comes to artificial environments, like it's really hard to tell someone that they're living in one. Do you know what I mean? Like if you told the people in like the town, I can't even remember what the town's name is. I read it like a few years ago, but if you told everyone in that little town that like everything was fake, and if you just like drove outside of the like the limits of it, then you'd realise that, you know, you're living... Oh, wait, so, spoilers. But, spoilers for Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick. Like, you realise that you're actually living in like, the future 90s, and there's, like, a fucking war going on between the lunar people and the earthlings, you know? But, like, you can't tell them that, because they won't step outside of that town. That's kind of what's happening with, like, normie people. They don't step outside any boundaries, and then they wonder why, like, you're, like... They wonder and look at you like, is this person crazy? You know? Because the town and like the illusion and expectations of people works for them. Or they accept it enough to the point where they can operate within those, I guess, like, margins, let's say. Because my vocabulary is really tanking right now. But yeah, like, that's what I've been thinking about, you know? And I'm trying to think of ways to live my own life and do the things I want to do. Recently I started, like, getting back into trying to code and that, and, like, trying to do web dev so I can, like, create my own websites and stuff. I haven't posted anything yet, but when it is posted and fully done, I'll probably make a video about it, because why not? But yeah, and I'd like to do like that with music as well, because I know I posted a video like the other day of me playing a song, and I haven't played guitar or sang in forever, but I'd like to, like, you know, get back into music as well and try and just do my hobbies. As for working and that sort of thing and being employed and that being an expectation, like, I don't know, I don't want to have to do a job which I'll be a slave to for the rest of my life. Let's put it that way. I think I posted this on Denpa, but I recently got a job interview, and if I end up waging, then that's fine, because I need the money. I'm skint right now. Totally skint, really. So, nowhere to go but up if I get the job. And then, during my free time, I can just do my hobbies and stack cash. That's what I really want to do in life right now. You know? I'm not planning on any big goal. I just want to, like, chill and do stuff. I think if anything, like, big happens, then chances are it will just come as it comes. With the flow. Go with the flow. Ride the wave, man, I guess. I don't really have much more to say. I think I've, like, pooped myself out. Just, like, wilted. I'm starting to run out of steam. I ain't got the gumption. Yeah. I never know how to end these things. I'm just awkwardly dragging it out. I best rip the, like, bandage off, I guess.